Welcome to Merit MBA Today. I'm Bryce Reynoldsbach, and I'm joined by Curtis Fowers, another MBA student. And today we're going to talk about the Sony Case competition. So, Curtis,
Thanks for having me, Bryce. I appreciate it.
We're glad to have you here because you were a big winner at the Case competition.
That's right. Well, not first place, but we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that. So, some of us probably don't know. Can we just start off with what is the Sony Case competition?
Yeah, absolutely. So Sony puts on a case competition every year in conjunction with University of California, San Diego. And it's primarily a means of bringing people in to get great ideas about how Sony can improve their business model, as well as find individuals, graduate students from their MBA program to come into their rotational program.
Okay. So this is a competition only for other MBAs across the country. Mm-hmm. So a lot of other schools were there, and you had a chance to mingle with them.
Right.
That's great. So let's kind of then look into how did you hear about this competition, and how did what was the application process?
Sure. So I heard about the competition through recruiting at the school here from an email from Dick Smith, essentially just recruiting, saying Sony's looking for applicants to get into this competition, marketing strategy applicants primarily. And then the application process was an actual application where you had to fill out, give them your resume, answer essay questions about why you'd be a good fit for Sony, why this competition matters to you, and essentially that. And that was last May, essentially. And it's a pretty deep applicant pool, so getting in is not everyone gets in. So I was really happy to be invited.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that it happened before the summer that you needed to apply. So it was a pretty good process, and then finally had the competition. About 40 students attended.
40 students from schools all across the country, top MBA programs.
Okay. And we actually, I'm trying to remember, we had 4 people.
Four BYU students there.
That actually sounds like a great odds for BYU.
Yeah, BYU. BYU is the highest represented school there, so we did well.
Okay, and I know when we were talking before, this is actually, as far as we know, the first year we've competed in the Sony competition.
Yeah, I know that last year there were no BYU students. I don't know if they've ever had students before, but this is the first year that I'm aware of BYU coming there.
That's a great showing.
That's absolutely right.
So what was the case about?
So the case involved how Sony can use non-hardware opportunities to monetize non-hardware opportunities. So things such as the Sony Entertainment Network, movies, TV shows, music, selling those products, selling services through PlayStation, any other just ways that's not selling TVs or
their
Blu-ray players, gaming systems.
Okay. So, he came up with an idea and then presented it. And so I know probably our contestants are interested. So we had 4 BYU students, but you guys did not compete with each other.
Right. So that's one of the unique things about this case competition is that most case competitions, you put together a team from your school, apply, and then go and work as a team from your school. Here you apply individually, and you're put on a team when you get there. And so I met my 4 other team members when I got there, and we had 24 hours essentially to meet each other, put together our best effort into what Sony should do, and then present to the board 24 hours later. So we actually ended up staying up until 2 o'clock in the morning, putting together the PowerPoint deck and finishing all the financials, and then waking up at 8 a.m. the next day to present.
Well, I'm sure it was fascinating. It's certainly interesting to see maybe hopefully over the next 6 months to a year, maybe some of these ideas could actually be represented in their marketing strategy.
Yeah, and that was the cool thing is the people that we were presenting to actually have power to implement these ideas, and they were interested in hearing things from us that could be implemented easily and have an impact on the business in the near term, which is a benefit for Sony, and it makes it's cool to see that if you came up with the idea and see it come to fruition.
Okay. So we got to it at the beginning, but you actually did pretty well the competition. So I know we have a picture.
Yeah, so my team, we took 3rd place, $2,000 total, and actually another MBA student here, Panu Puikinen, his team took 2nd place. So I feel BYU did a fantastic job representing, doing well. I think they'll have us back for sure. And it was a great experience.
Looks Sounds like it's been a lot of fun. I do know some of the important facts that we kind of want to know is that you paid your own way to go.
Right.
Kind of put yourself up, but they had a lot of cash prizes, a lot of events, made it really exciting. A lot of Sony items probably out there.
Yeah, they gave away a lot of items there: laptops, cameras, computers, and then they also gave everyone a pair of $300 headphones, which was fantastic to end. But besides that, I think the experience was well worth it. Absolutely.
So that's kind of my final question as we look to wrap up. What would you recommend to students who were thinking of doing this competition? Any advice you'd give about future MBA students that want to take part? Yeah,
so I would recommend both reaching out to anyone at Sony, any MBA students at Sony, or anyone you know that works there, and then going to Sony's website. They actually have information on the case competition each year, the past winners and the deadlines coming up, and you can just find it by Googling Sony Case competition. It'll pull it right up.
Right. Well, we've appreciated Curtis joining us here. Hopefully you'll find the Sony Case competition well worth your time, and thanks for watching this episode.